Thank you so much, Milad. Hello, everyone. It's really, I know that if we have hours and hours, we still need time to speak more about different aspects of this brutal torture. So basically, I guess this is the most comprehensive seminar I have heard about the deprivation of, basically depriving political prisoners from medication, because it's from every aspect when you look at it, it's actually attack to the humanity, to dignity of that person, to the livelihood of that person. So we know that for all these decades, political prisoner has always been deprived from medication. Myself, as a former political prisoner in 80s, I was often actually deprived from medication for punishment. And the point is, like, as we know, it's getting more and more and more systematic. Like, if I think back, if I take you back a little bit, I think the first time our campaign to free political prisoners noticed this is a matter that needs to be addressed urgently, it was in 2010. Meaning 25 years ago. 25 years ago, we speak talking about all these atrocities. So 2010 was the first time actually we got some reports from Rajai Shah prison. It was the first prison that sent us some information, and it was a bit shocking. Of course, at the time, there wasn't that much of a social media, etc., but still prisoners actually took initiative and sent all these reports. And I want to read you just a paragraph of a letter from, at the time, Behruz Javi Tehrani, which some of you may know, that sent out from Rajai Shah prison about a case. He spoke about, in the letter, he spoke about how the guards are humiliating and insulting the prisoners, how getting medical treatment is a privilege. But most, I think what broke my heart really was the part that he said, I know of a sick prisoners in the solitary confinement cells of Ward 2 named Dariush Arjaman, who has been held in solitary for 2.5 years. He is infected with AIDS, and for a long time, the prison doctor has stopped giving him his antibiotics so that he dies sooner. He is not even been given betadine or ointment or anything like that, any essential thing for his wound, and not even allowing to take shower. The guards are afraid to open his cell door and take him to the toilet or the shower. Even the light bulbs in his cell is not working anymore. But no one goes and see that until Dariush died. None of us knows Dariush. I'm saying this because that was in 2010, 25 years ago. Many like Dariush died, and we don't even know their name. The first time we started publicizing this issue, it was in 2012, when we started the campaign, Don't Let Their Heartbeat Stop. And again, getting more report from Rajai Shah prison, and bravely send us all this, which we shared with at the time, with the external part of the European Union. In some of these cases, which I'm sure is familiar still, sadly, it was like how basically family need, as Ismail Abdi mentioned, take medication, make appointment, and despite that, they don't take their prisoners to basically for their treatment. In one of the reports, it says in Rajai Shah prison in 2012, which says that 50 patients, 50 political prisoners were seen in half an hour by so-called doctors of prison. So it's a lot. I know it's been mentioned, but what I'm trying to say, this matter has been there for a very, very long time. So it just shows how systematic and how intentional this torture has been used. Another different, basically, forms of this torture, with, again, Ismail Abdi mentioned, one of the things was like how the diet of the basically prisoners, because imagine it's not just deprivation from medical treatment, It's also the condition that the prison authority provide, so the prisoners get iller and get and basically die eventually. And then they announce that, well, you know what, the prisoner died because of natural causes. They never say actually they died because of basically we deprived them from medication. And the other thing, like for example, they used to do, and I'm sure they still do it, like they used to taking prisoners to outside specialists in some cases, only subjected to more humiliating strip search when they return. So then in that case, the prisoners would say, we don't want any medication. We'd rather not go to the hospital, but not be humiliated. In some cases, they would tell them the only condition you would go to outside specialists is by wearing uniform. And political prisoners tend to protest against that because that's a way of humiliating them. Ismail Abdi also rightly mentioned, this is not just about political prisoners, it's about whole people that maybe the most deprived people who've been held in prison under the pretext of drug, etc. There is no report on them. There is no statistic, unfortunately, and many of them die like on a daily basis. A few names mentioned. I also would like to mention Afshin Osanlu in 2013, when his death was announced as heart attack, whereas the family says actually there was nothing wrong with him. The other one was Shahrukh Zamani, who was also announced dead. Behnam Mahboubi and also Bakhtosh was the recent one that mentioned in this here as well. The first time, again, this matter was mentioned was in 2012. At the time, Ahmad Shahid was the special rapporteur that we provided lots of information. And the matter was that, I know I don't have so much time, but if you give me one more minute, what I want to say, at the time in 2010 and 12, when we started telling people, this is intentional, this is torture, some even activists were telling us, oh, it's always happened. But look, this is actually happening on a daily basis, purposely depriving prisoners from basically medical attention. So we're glad that we managed to get that to the UN to be the first time. It was in March 2012 in Ahmad Shahid's report that was talking about, a paragraph only was about the deprivation of medical care. So today we're together sitting about different aspects of it. After 25 years, much before that, of course, but I'm just giving my observation and also our research. So for 25 years, the situation got worse and worse and worse. We are not here to saying we're powerless. After my speech, you will see a very old, basically, video, which we made at the time in 2013. And so the pictures are not up to date, but when you hear those basically faces, when you hear all those heartbeats, when you hear them, just remember that we are here to think together, to act together, to echo their voices. We want to take their resilience. Those heartbeats are telling you we are resilient, we are fighting. Two examples of it is Anusha Ashuri and Ismail Abdi, and they went through hell. But look how strong they are. And I know that in the audience, there are many others that they've been through it, or their loved one, they are still in prison, which I'm hoping that they be able to come and share their story. Thank you so much for the time, and I'm looking forward to the question and answer.
Thank you, Shiva Mahbobi. You were the last